Trump has made it a long list of appointments and announcements leading into his inauguration, but this most recent one took a special interest to me. It's about Trump trying to save Hollywood with this announcement, stating, quote, "It is my honor to announce Jon Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone to be special ambassadors to a great but very troubled place, Hollywood, California. They will serve as special envoys to me for the purpose of bringing Hollywood, which has lost much business over the last 4 years to foreign countries, back bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. These three very talented people will be my eyes and ears, and I will get done what they suggest. It will again be, like the United States of America itself, the golden age of Hollywood." And so again, the reason why this takes gives this is an interest of me is because in my previous channel, which has been deleted thanks to YouTube, I talked a lot about the so-called culture war and how Hollywood plays a major factor in putting out a lot of the negative messaging that people have adopted for their regular everyday behavior. And as a result, among many other things that Hollywood has done, I believe Hollywood deserves to die as an industry. Now, Trump making this announcement, I can understand it from his perspective because, after all, he is still supposed to be the president of all of the United States. But again, if you follow my previous channel and if you've watched a few videos on this current channel, you know that I'm in complete disagreement with this, with this idea of saving Hollywood. The place is vile, it's filled with pedophiles, among many other things, and it's an industry, it's a town that deserves to fall, which is why I have zero sympathy for what's going on right now with the wildfires, outside of, the innocent children and people who actually didn't vote for what's happening now with the LA fires. Now, his choices, Jon Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone, I mean, they are great choices to help create an alternative to Hollywood. I mean, again, I've always stated Mel Gibson is one of, if not the best, actor slash directors in the history of Hollywood. And me personally, I would love to see him get the funding, through Elon Musk, for example, to do 10 historical epics, movies and series, and that alone would be able to accomplish a lot. I mean, first and foremost, it would bring sort of a pride back to celebrating Western culture, Western civilization. But because, again, his movies are done so well, it would be one of the key things to help create an alternative to Hollywood. And then Sylvester Stallone, as a writer, a producer, he could contribute a lot. And Jon Voight, just his overall historical knowledge of how the industry works, he could contribute a lot as well. So me personally, I wish these three appointments were was a pursuit to create an alternative to Hollywood. But again, he has to be the president of all the United States, including the parts that are, enemies of the United States, because that's how I view Democrat blue states. They have the luxury of being in the United States, but their mentality is very anti-American. Dare I say, there are foreign-born people that love America more than the liberal enemies that were born here and have been here for generations. And so it'll be interesting to see how this thing is exactly executed. But ideally, it would be about making these appointments to create an alternative to Hollywood. Because the fact of the matter is, even if Trump gets into office, because, who knows what shenanigans they pull in the next couple of days, but if he gets into office and he brings California back, as we know, when it comes to libtards, they will still hate him and anybody who supports him because these people are more invested in the destruction of America than the building of America and making it great. I mean, liberals actively hate this country, which is why when you see this upcoming TikTok ban, they all purposely went to a well known CCP website because these people are unabashed communists who are anti American, and ideally they would be treated as the enemy terrorists they are. Instead of having, I don't know, parents standing up against trans and, other people on watch lists, liberals should need to be on watch lists. But anyway, out of all the announcements, I really do like the Mel Gibson one because he's been out here taking shots even long before Trump became a presidential candidate idea. All the way, the days of Passion of the Christ. But you look up older interviews. Even in the '90s, he would hint towards, nefarious activities going on in Hollywood. But obviously, as we see, especially even in the age of social media, if you call these people out, you know, not only would you lose your livelihood, but you could be taken out of this life. you know, and so I give people like Mel Gibson a break for not just brazenly calling everything out because, especially again, when you see the so-called opposition to liberals, like what do they actually do and contribute to truly resisting and fighting against their ideological enemies? You know, they make angry posts, angry worded letters. Maybe they'll verbally call things out here and there, but ultimately, we see the opposition side, meaning so-called conservatives, they still support Hollywood, despite how obviously Hollywood has been against them. And again, that's why I feel like what's most important is not trying to save Hollywood, is about creating an alternative to it. But anyway, we'll see how this attempt from Trump plays out. It's probably one of the only things I wish he is doing fails. And not fail in the sense that they don't, sort of revitalize mainstream entertainment. Fail in the sense that it doesn't work for Hollywood, California, but it works somewhere else. You create the equivalent somewhere else in the country outside of Hollywood, California. Because those people deserve to just, you know, be in the past, for lack of a better term.